Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going on an adventure to a super famous mountain in Washington state called Mount St. Helens. But this isn't just any mountain, it's a volcano. And lately, it's been making a bit of a rumble. So, let's dive in and find out what's shaking. Imagine the Earth is like a giant layered cake. The top layer where we live is called the crust. Underneath that, there's a thick gooey layer called the mantle, which is full of super hot melted rock called magma. Volcanoes are like vents or chimneys that connect the deep hot inside of the Earth to the surface. Sometimes that magma from the mantle starts to move upwards, looking for a way out. Now, Mount St. Helens has a very famous history. Back in 1980, it had a huge eruption that completely changed the landscape around it. It was a really powerful event that scientists learned a lot from. Since then, the volcano has been pretty quiet, kind of like it's been sleeping. But even when a volcano is sleeping, it's not totally still. Deep underground, things are always happening. So what's going on right now? Over the past few months, scientists have noticed a lot more small earthquakes happening around Mount St. Helens. When I say a lot, I mean hundreds of them. But don't worry, these aren't the kind of earthquakes you can feel. They're super tiny, like little whispers from deep inside the Earth. Scientists use special tools called seismometers to listen to these rumbles. Think of a doctor using a stethoscope to listen to your heartbeat. Seismometers do the same thing for the Earth. These tiny earthquakes are happening about 3 to 6 miles beneath the surface. That's pretty deep. What scientists think is happening is that new magma is slowly moving up from the mantle to refill the magma chamber under the volcano. A magma chamber is like a big underground storage tank for melted rock. Imagine you're slowly blowing up a balloon. As you blow more air in, the balloon's skin stretches and might make little crackling sounds. These tiny earthquakes are like those crackling sounds. It's the rock deep underground cracking and shifting just a little bit as the magma pushes its way up. This process is called recharging. It's totally normal for a volcano like Mount St. Helens. It's been recharging ever since its last smaller eruption ended back in 2008. The volcano is basically getting ready for some future activity. But, and this is a really big but, this does not mean it's going to erupt anytime soon. Not at all. Scientists who study volcanoes, called volcanologists, are watching Mount St. Helens 24/7. They have all sorts of cool gadgets on and around the mountain. Besides the seismometers listening for earthquakes, they have GPS instruments that can detect if the ground is swelling or bulging. If a lot of magma moves in, it can make the ground puff up like a marshmallow, even if it's just by a tiny amount. They also have gas sensors that can sniff the air for volcanic gases like sulfur dioxide, which can be another clue that magma is getting closer to the surface. Right now, none of those other signs are showing anything unusual. The ground isn't swelling, and there are no weird gases being released. All the signs point to this being a normal, slow recharging process happening deep underground. The magma is still very far from the surface. Think of it like a pot of water on the stove. You've just turned the heat on low. You might hear a few little pings from the bottom of the pot, but it's a long, long way from boiling over. This increased earthquake activity is actually a good thing for science. It gives researchers a fantastic opportunity to study how a volcano wakes up from a long nap. By watching every little rumble and shake, they can create better models to understand what happens before an eruption. This helps them predict future eruptions, not just at Mount St. Helens, but at other volcanoes all around the world. It's like getting a peek inside the Earth's plumbing system. The United States Geological Survey, or USGS, is the group in charge of monitoring all the volcanoes in the U.S. They have a color-coded alert system to let everyone know what's going on. Right now, Mount St. Helens is at green, which means normal. It means the volcano is acting like a regular, non-erupting volcano. If things started to change, they would raise the level to yellow, then orange, and finally red if an eruption was about to happen or was happening. But we are safely at green. So the big takeaway is this. Mount St. Helens is making some noise, but it's just the sound of the volcano slowly refueling deep underground. It's a fascinating natural process that scientists are monitoring very closely. There is no immediate danger, and it's a great reminder of how active and amazing our planet is. It's a living, breathing world right under our feet. We'll definitely keep an eye on it for you and let you know if there are any new updates. It's a perfect example of science in action, keeping us safe while helping us learn more about our incredible world. Thanks so much for watching and for being curious about our planet. If you enjoyed this video and learned something new, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel for more science adventures. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next video. See you next time.